Well, I sold a couple paintings at Chrome, which is cool. Chrome Salon and Spa. It was really interesting because I got an email from the purchaser of this very small piece. It was like I think an 8 by 10 and like $25, and um, I don't want to divulge too much, but it was really interesting and really different. And they talked about how they had a son that had recently passed away, and how they felt that that piece connected them a bit with their son, and they just were very open about sharing that. And for me, like when someone connects with art, it becomes more than a transaction, and I like hearing about those stories. I like hearing about how someone connects with a piece, not necessarily even about interpretation of the meaning of a piece or anything, but just what they're getting from it, why they appreciate it. It's not something I ever ask for, um, but when it's given, it's lovely. And I don't know, I just feel really appreciative and grateful that they were able to share their story in a little more detail. And then the next day, when they went to pick the piece up because they had an appointment there, they purchased another piece that was it was a $275 piece that they purchased for 300, and they're just very generous and gracious and just like really hits me in a spot right now where I've been in a spot for years where I feel like I need the money, but especially right now with this month and coming out of 2 weeks off of no work because Christmas holidays, and Christmas itself and traveling and all those expenses, like it just really, really helps me out right now. And I'm just, yeah, happy that someone can connect with the art that I make and value it, and also have the means to honor the value of the piece by paying for that work. If people connect with my art and value it and don't have the means to purchase it, I hope it would be obvious by this point that I appreciate it, and I love that. Like someone being able to have the means to purchase the art at its value is beautiful and amazing and very fortunate, for them and for myself. For people who don't have those means but still value what I create and connect with it, and communicate that to me, and even if they don't communicate it to me, knowing that it does happen is beautiful, and getting that feedback is really helpful sometimes too. Um, as much as I don't want to need validation in that sense, because I'm making the work for me, knowing that someone else connects to it is a form of validation. It's nice and it gives me warm fuzzies, and it's just cool too that I'm like, oh, so you saw something in this too. Like it is a connection between people, even just with like, oh, someone sees worth in this thing, and it's not even necessarily validating. This is gonna go off the rails real quick. Not even necessarily validating my worth, but just like there's a human connection point that happens even without more detail. Um, I feel like this could be a conversation, so maybe I'll just shelve the talking head bit. I'm gonna go replace this piece. I don't know if I'll remember to insert the bigger piece that sold, but I'm going to replace it with this one that'll fit nicely there. Um, this was based on, man, I switched gears really fast there. Sorry, not sorry, but this was based off of a figure drawing session. So I had pencil and pencil crayon, and then I used hair dye and tie dye for the color, and these faux roses and some spray paint and stuff. So that'll be up there at Chrome. And oh, before I forget, there's something else. Okay, so speaking of people and connecting, there's a person by the name of M. Tucker, and they reached out to me. I got an email like 4 or 5 days ago. So by the time you see this, it'll be like a week and a half since I got that email. And I tried to reply. It was through YouTube. And it was through the vlog. So I tried to reply to it in an email, and it wouldn't let me. It just said that the email failed. It wasn't a comment, like it was like an email, but I think it was like through YouTube. And I've tried to look up so many ways on how. Anyway, they were discussing security. If you can, like security as in like a job, and I had a response to them, and I had some questions for them. So if you're watching this and you know who you are, please reach out again with, I guess not through YouTube, but like if you have my email address, again, you can go to my link tree and you can find information there, message me, whatever. Because I can't respond to that email for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway. That's not fair. Ball, Wren.
Did she drop her ball?
He dropped it over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that far. I can't see it right now, though. Just at the dog park with Wren. Usually doesn't take long before dogs show up, if there are none when you get here. 2 people left with their dogs as we came into the park, like they were already in their vehicles. So Wren didn't get to meet any dogs yet. Kind of on a time crunch too, so that's not always great, but we'll see. Hope she gets to play with some dogs. Last time she was here, well, just yesterday, I guess. There were some dogs that she just didn't feel like playing with, I guess. There were only 2. And it was just like, oh, okay, whatever. Like they didn't have a problem. It was just they weren't her style. I don't know. Right, puppy? Get some good sniffs in. Hope some other dogs show up soon so we can burn some energy and socialize. Anyway, I've talked before about sunk cost fallacy, so I don't want to get too deep into it, but it relates to so many other things, and just like, I had a really hard time yesterday with this, what do I call it? I couldn't get past, I got stuck. I got hooked in, and I got stuck by the fact that I couldn't find a pencil. So there's some things I'm really particular about, and I guess I will entertain you with this pencil story, but it's a lot bigger than just the pencil thing. So there's a lot of details. I couldn't find a pencil and I got really stuck on it, is like the end part. So I'll tell you that first. That's what this is all about. And I got really stuck on it, meaning like I spent a lot of time looking for it. I eventually had to leave and I gave up looking for it, but it took up a lot of mental real estate still, and was very frustrating. And I had it in the back of my mind, and I was just like, hey, I guess I'll just go buy another pencil. And I'll have to do that tomorrow, and until then, it's just whatever. And that was like my resolution, but it still took up too much mental energy to get to that point. And like, again, still having it on my mind after that, being like, where would it go? How can a pencil just disappear? What the hell? So, pencil story. I like mechanical pencils for writing. I would like other pencils, like an HB, a pencil you can sharpen. I don't know what to call that kind of pencil. Old school pencil for drawing. I'll use them for like note taking, or I'll use it if I have to use it. I prefer pencils over pens because pens are too fluid and my writing can get really messy that way. And so a pencil slows me down. I just like the look of it better too. It's a thicker stroke. And yeah, so I use mechanical pencils. I really like them for a lot of reasons, but I mean, there's a certain fluidity I don't have to stop and sharpen. The lead doesn't change, or not the lead, well, yeah, the lead. The lead doesn't change its diameter as much as a regular pencil does, because you hit a certain amount, you hit a certain amount, and it doesn't just broaden and broaden and broaden until you need to sharpen it again. You can just push more lead out. You can change the angle of it differently so that you don't have like really thin lines and then really thick lines with the same pencil. I'm also pretty heavy-handed, so you'd think a mechanical pencil wouldn't be nice for that purpose, and you'd be right, depending on the size of your lead. I use a 0.9 millimeter lead. That is the thickest that I can find, and I used to use a Zebra 0.7 because 0.7s were the thickest I knew of, and 0.5s were just too light for me. So I was rocking 0.7. I really like Zebra's pencils and pens and things. And then I stumbled upon the Staedtler 0.9, and I was like, hell yeah. And I have a specific eraser that I use too, which is also a Staedtler. I'll have to try and remember to show you later when I get home or when I get to the studio. So I have this pencil and eraser combination, and the eraser is like, just in case I forget, it's like a cylindrical eraser that you can like push out or pull back in. It's a good eraser, and then the plastic encasing around it helps protect it from getting like super dirty and grungy and stuff. And yeah, it's good. It's more precision than other erasers can provide. Anyway, I have at least 4 of these. I've got a pair of them at home, a pair in my backpack, a pair at Rebecca's house, and a pair at the studio. And that's in case I ever forget them anywhere, that I can still just do my work as planned. Now, I mentioned that I can use other writing utensils, and I will if I absolutely need to. But if I am writing in so if I'm just like taking notes on something I'm going to throw away, or I'm going to rewrite in another book, I'm not really that picky, because I can write with a regular pencil just fine, and I'm going to rewrite it later for preservation or whatever with another writing utensil in a different book. My arm gets tired after a while of doing that. Anyway, however, if I'm writing in like a journal type book, my gratitude journal, or just my writing journal of thoughts, if I'm writing on one of those, I want it to be as uniform as possible, and I don't want a bunch of different writing utensils in there, and I just use this one pencil, and I like it. Again, I just like the way the pencil looks on paper. I like writing with it, whatever. And I was going to write in my gratitude journal before I left the house, and then I couldn't find this pencil from the day before. Now, I was going to write in the gratitude journal the night before, and I started to, and then I ran out of time, and then I had to leave. Like, the pencil didn't leave my room. I was sure of that. As much as I could be sure of anything, but I know that I have a tendency sometimes, if I'm running around doing 5 different things, it's like maybe you're watching TV or you're getting something ready to watch, and then you leave to go get some food, and then you leave the remote in the kitchen. Like, that kind of thing happens to me from time to time. So I thought, oh, maybe that's what I did. Maybe it's in the kitchen, or it's in the washroom, or something. And it just wasn't. So I just couldn't find it anywhere in my room. I didn't realize it was missing until this next day when I went to look for it and wanted to write in the gratitude journal the thing that I didn't finish writing the day before. And I was just like, I didn't tear my room apart, but I looked extensively and I couldn't find it. And it just consumed me too much. And it was just too much of an extreme emotional reaction of frustration that I felt. And that was just silly, and then I just got annoyed with me not being able to let go. Being like, why don't you just whatever, just use the one from your backpack? Because that's the other thing. I could have just used the exact same pencil from my backpack, but that didn't solve the problem of where is the pencil. I need to have the pencil in my room. Where is it? Why the heck can't I find it? What is going on? And the whole reason that I have all these pencils everywhere, or things like Advil. Like I have Advil that I keep in my car in case I get a headache on a road trip and I don't have my backpack with me or something. I have Advil in my backpack in case I get a headache when I'm at work. I have Advil at home. I have Advil at Rebecca's house. Like, I have certain things in multiple places so that if I don't have my backpack with me or whatever, I can still cure my ailment or whatever it is that I need that thing for. So, but I was so stuck on the fact that, like, yes, I know that I can just go and write with this pencil right now, but it doesn't solve the problem of where the heck did I put my pencil. And then this morning, so this is now 2 days since I lost the pencil. So this morning, I got up, and again, I was like, I want to write my gratitude journal. I need to go to Staples and get a new pencil, though, because that was my solution, just buy a new one. And then you don't have to worry about looking for this one. You'll find it later because I'm sure I didn't leave the room. And it was just like hidden underneath my TV remote. Because I grabbed it and I was just right there. And I was like, what the hell? Like some amazing job I did searching for this pencil that I didn't move the remote. Like, I just don't understand. It was like hidden kind of like a little underneath it and I just didn't move it. And I was just, it was really silly. But the thing is that this is a thing that this is the way that I get sometimes, and it's really frustrating when I just can't let go and I like get stuck. I just get stuck on something. It's something different, you know. It's not always a pencil. It doesn't happen that frequently, and I have learned to let go of those things a lot quicker. So they don't happen as frequently, and they usually don't happen to that extreme for that long. But it's also frustrating because I know that I'm getting better at that and I'm exercising that skill in just being able to drop that thing and just move on. But because it just happened to such a degree, I don't know, it just compounded. It was just perpetuating because I was frustrated about that now. I was frustrated about being frustrated. And like, I don't get caught in loops like that as often as I used to even a year ago, which is a good sign. It's a signal that like I'm, you know, figuring some things out with myself and being able to improve in some areas like this and can just manage my own mental health a little better. But yeah, that's the pencil story, and it's really silly, but it just points to just these things that I can get hooked in on and get stuck on that are just, they just take something from me when they are completely meaningless. Like, there's enough things that I have to worry about that are cool. Thanks for all of us hearing your big truck. We all needed that. You're really cool. Anyway, yeah, like I have enough things to worry about that need my attention. I don't need to give attention to something like this, especially in that manner. Anyway. Hey, baby. She knows not to run on the ice. Most of the dog park here, at least in the center and the side, well, like 50% of it is ice. This section over here isn't bad. Up there is really nice. Over there is good at the far end. But yeah, she knows not to run on it. We've been having like not great luck with being at the dog park lately. Just the time of day that I'm getting here. There's not a lot of dogs, and then the ones that come aren't her favorite. Just sometimes she just isn't excited to play with them. Anyway, I'm wrapping up the vlog. I don't remember what else I did this week, but other videos this week. I did a review on Rent, finally. I did a review on Rain Man as well, finally. And there's a conversation about what? Darn it all. Darn it all. I don't remember. Oh man. What is this trash? There's a conversation that I did this week about one-way connections. One-way connections. Oh yeah. That was like a callback to one of the first videos I ever did 4 years ago. We're in the 5th year of the vlog now. And I did something about legacy, and the next one was about connection. So you can check that out. And you can go all the way back and check out the very first one I did. I did that conversation on connection with someone else, and it was really long. But it was coming right off the heels of this legacy conversation that I started the vlog off with initially 4 years ago. So yeah, I really like that one-way connection one as just a way to revisit kind of and see maybe if my thoughts have changed on things, and also just like how I use social media and things like that. Anyway, I'm going to cap it off here, and we'll see you on another time.